They say good things come to those who wait. Well, guess I'm gonna be at least an hour late. You've been so good to me, allow me to demonstrate. Hey, real loving, you don't have to wait.
Welcome to episode 59 of Doek and on a beautiful, cold, and unfortunately windy Sunday. My name is Kylie, and this is my beautiful wife, Bonang. If this is your first time here, we appreciate you clicking on this video. If you're a returning watcher, thank you so much for growing with the tribe. We appreciate you, right? I can't believe we've been doing this for 50, like that's the 59th time we've been doing this, right? What's been your experience throughout the 59 episodes? I know there's no contract to be doing this. You're not paid, but still, how has it been?
It's been alright. It's been okay. Chilled. How's it been for you?
You look cold, babe.
I am. How's it been for you?
It's been okay. Before we go any further, let me get the stick of truth. Now, if you're new here, whoever has the stick of truth gets to speak because we tend to speak over each other. So because Bonang is speaking, I will give her the stick of truth, or rather, so that we all get a chance to speak, right? And on today's episode, we're actually going to be having a bit of F flu, right? Because somebody is cold and we don't want to get in flu. Closing it's like it's stuck.
Weirdness.
Hey, what's the key?
Yeah.
How many do you want?
It's not an issue of how many do I want.
Okay, one. We really sound cold.
Hey, what's that I make?
Yeah, it's a little windy, but I don't think what's it is. It's just wind and dust.
What's the date?
So I'm gonna be having mine in my special cup. Mama wanted a special cup. I need to go one. You don't have a special cup, bro. This is my special cup.
Yes, you're
Yeah, so the worry in F flu what? This thing tastes horrible. It's kind of Fanta, but not really. It has that thing, right?
Yes. Carry on.
What else is there to say? Should we finish this thing first?
No, carry on.
Okay. So on today's episode, while this thing dissolves, we wanted to talk about questions one should ask if they feel that relationship is getting a little serious. Because it's no longer a situationship, but it's like you see it's going somewhere, but you might not be sure. So there are certain questions we feel we would ask if we're in that situation, and on today's episode we're going to be sharing those questions, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So where do we start? Am I starting? Are you starting?
You start.
Okay. Because I'm a good boy, I had my questions written down, right?
Wow.
These are the questions I feel I would ask if I was in a relationship and I felt that it was going somewhere and I want to find out more.
Okay.
Right? Questions. Hey, how are my questions?
That's a good question.
Wait. Okay, I might have lost my questions.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
No.
Okay, I got it. The thing is, I'm not wearing my glasses, so question one for me was, do you want a serious relationship? Do you see us going the distance? Uba. Is that boring? Why what's like it was supposed to?
It's not boring, just right off the bat.
Yes. I didn't write them in any chronological order.
No, I
just
know.
wrote questions.
I know. It makes sense, yes, to understand what are we, where are we going?
Yes.
Are we both going?
Who's going?
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. No, it's a decent question. What are we?
Yeah. So that's the first question. Before you ask any other questions, you need to find out, do you want a serious relationship? That's the first thing. so that nobody feels coerced in the long run. Imagine you've been there for 2 years and somebody said, hey, Ken and I never said I wanted anything with you. Well, you could have just easily asked. And then, do you see us go in the distance? That's one question, right? So yeah, that's the first question I would ask. Wanna ask your first question?
Okay. Go.
You vitamin C.
Alright.
You didn't write anything down?
I wrote it down.
Yeah. Baby.
But I can still remember.
Okay.
Alright. So amongst the questions that I wrote, one of them was or is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to look.
He's it. Can I make a before what's on my exam?
Don't be a douche. Don't be a douche. Okay, so the first question that I wrote down is more for the person that more to understand the person before we go into the relationship together. So the question that I wrote was, as an individual, there are certain things that you want to do, I get. So I wanted to know what before we try go far or we try this relationship thing, I wanted to know what those things were. I don't want to say goals, but it could be things that you want to do. There are certain things that you want to do for your parents. You want to take a vacation with the boys. There's something that you want to do. And it's kind of when we're in a relationship and then you bring it up in now, you're just being brand new now. Knowing what you want to do before you're in a relationship, just knowing who Bukamuso is, what Bukamuso wants to achieve, things like
what
that.
his vibe is, I would say.
What is vibe?
I was gonna ask you this, right? I hear your question, but doesn't that seem like you're kind of forcing me to write down a list to say, okay,
No, not in that sense. In the sense, you know, there are certain people who have things that they would like to achieve before they...
Is this like a bucket list?
Not a bucket list. There are certain people who have things that they would like to achieve or things that they would like to do for certain people. For when there's someone in your life who you feel has impacted you so much and you want to do something for them. But relationships are like give and take. With relationships, the two become one sometimes along the way.
That's marriage, babe. Not relationships.
Yeah.
Is this more for people who are like married?
No, not for people who are married, but it's difficult to explain. But I feel like we should understand each other. We should understand what you as a person want to do, what you want to achieve as a person before dilute that. Like undiluted you. What does Bukamuso want?
And I get strong. The strong oros. You can't dilute me.
So I think it's important to understand who you are before we go into whatever it is we're going into. Yes. I think.
Okay, let's not dwell much into it. I think I understand you. Just keep reading from your book. I wanted to go into this. No, I got my questions. Come on, I gotta baby write things down.
Got my questions.
Just read them out.
Carry on.
My second question is, what does success look like to you? And I feel like I'm being too serious with these things.
It feels like an interview.
Hey, at the end of the day, it is kind of an interview because that determines if you get the job or if you don't, right?
The slower I drink this, the more medicinal it tastes.
Yeah, just
short it.
Okay, let me explain my question. What does success look like to you? I think let's say if you're in a relationship and baby, you're distracted.
If you're in a relationship
and you feel like you want to take things to the next level, right? The reason why I wrote that down, sometimes you might be with somebody for 10 years and you see every day they're up and hustling. And you don't necessarily understand what they're doing, why they're doing everything that they're doing. When you are chilled, maybe you have a job that pays good, you have a car, you have a house, and to you, that's success, right? You're good, you're done, you are content with your life. To somebody else, success means having 20 million and being chased by BRS, you know? Like, different levels of success. We want different things in life. So if you're going to be in a committed relationship, you need to understand what the person who's next to you deems success. Some people, like getting along with everybody, the relationships are in good terms. To them, that's success. If they have a family, to them, that's success. But for some people, they want to be career people. They want millions in the bank. Or what? So I feel like if you're going to spend so much time of your life with the person you're intending to, because the relationship is going a certain way, you need to understand what that person deems as success, so that you know what makes them tick and what they deem as successful. Right?
No, I feel
yeah. So what's your not to divert, what's your definition of success? If Bona was to wake up one day 20 years from now and she's like, you know what, I'm successful, what does that look like to you right now?
Bonang being successful means that I have my farm, I am self-sufficient in whatever I've chosen, whatever type of farming I've chosen. It means I have my farm, I have my job that I would want, and I'm able to go on vacations or holidays with my loved ones when I want to. That's success to me.
Okay. Nothing specific to me.
Well, how loved ones?
No, I don't count as your loved ones. Okay, babe. What's your other question?
My question.
Yeah, Bala. Yeah.
Different people want different things. I think sometimes we often assume that we might want the same thing, which might not necessarily be the case. So I think it's important to ask someone for a family. In the future, are you someone who wants to have kids, or you don't want to have kids?
Okay.
I think it's important to ask, because sometimes having kids is important to some people, sometimes it's not. Sometimes people prioritize their careers, sometimes people prioritize other things that they feel are, as you pointed out, success to them. So some people might not want to have kids, and it's important that we get that right out of the way instead of falling hard, very, very hard for someone, and then realizing that I want to start a family with you, but you don't want to start a family with me. I think that's something we need to hash out. Okay. But people can change, but yeah, it's still something that we need to talk about.
Yeah, at that moment, what do you want or don't you want kids in the future, right? I'm not stealing your question, but I'm just gonna throw a curveball, right? Like a spanner in the works. Do you feel like we're Africans, Rabatswana, so I'll speak from an African perspective. I'm not representing all Africans, but I'm an African, so if I'm representing myself, am I representing Africans? Do you think we plan to have kids, or kids just happen?
It depends, honestly. I plan. But who knows? Sometimes... How do kids just happen?
1 minute you don't have kids and the next minute you do. That's how kids happen. Without necessarily sitting down and family planning the scientific way, or we want 2 kids, or space I got 3 months, or 3 years.
I feel like if you're sexually active, you should know or know kids are in...
They're in the mix.
Yeah.
Okay. I just got to understand more. This needs like a whole new episode to be discussed.
Alrighty, your question.
This thing doesn't taste good. Okay. Coincidentally enough, my third question was, do you want a family? ? Kids, ? So same thing that you asked, right? Let me move on to my fourth question. Do you want, envision getting married? If yes, when? If not, why not?
So your question in
Yes.
essence is asking the other person whether they would like to get married or not in future. That is the person you're going to the relationship with.
Yes, because I feel like ascertaining such things, Bonang did say earlier, you might say something right now, you might mean something right now, and then in the next 5 months it changes. We're creatures of changing. We evolve. I guess people evolve. So it doesn't necessarily mean what you say now you will still want in the next 5 or 10 years. But it's important to know at this current state, do you see yourself getting married, or do you envision becoming a husband or a wife in the near future? This will avoid a lot of frustration if the two of you end up in a relationship and when I've been with this person for 5 years, but he hasn't even bought me a promise ring.
Answer sign.
No promise ring, no engagement ring, nothing. But I know a friend of mine, 6 months ago, and they're already getting married, right? So it's important for you, the two of you, to know where do you stand with this marriage.
Are you not with this marriage thing, but are you going into the relationship? Are you going to the relationship with marriage in mind, or are you going to the relationship just with
yeah, we'll see.
With a chilled mentality, chilled vibe? Yeah.
See where it goes, right? Cool. Yeah, you can ask your other question.
My other question. Oh yes, I love this.
You.
So my other question is, are you ready?
Sure.
So, before we go into this relationship, is there something or anything that you feel that I need to know that could potentially impact our relationship in the future?
It's a no from me. Yeah, I mean, seems like a setup if you ask me. You can ask that question, I'm not hijacking your question. But I feel like such questions,
No, but I feel like...
all good.
I understand.
No skeletons.
But what I'm trying to say, I like the fact that you said no skeletons. But have
I declared? You just want me to declare.
I want you to declare, but sometimes it's easier to declare within a relationship than it is to declare outside of a relationship.
Yeah.
So
wait, what? It's easier to declare when?
Is it not easier to declare within a relationship?
Instead of out?
I get the whole level you're getting to know each other. Lily, just you've agreed we were dating.
You're exclusive.
We're exclusive. So wouldn't it be easier for me to now tell you more personal things?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
But still, I want to know.
It's a no from me again. Hey, Borak is setting up this one. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then my fifth question is, how important is sex to you? Like the having. How important is it?
The what?
The having of the sex.
Okay.
Yes. How important is it to you? Are you a 3 times a day like the doctor prescribed? Are you a once a week?
3 times.
Are you a sometimes? Are you a maybe? I think it's important to kind of get to know what the other person likes and what the other person is into, right? Yeah. Okay.
No, I do believe that it's very important what to read, say what the other person likes, what the other person doesn't like. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe you guys will go into details.
What? What do you mean details?
Draw up schedules.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Schedule. I was waiting for the schedule part. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway. I feel like we'll talk about that at some other time. Our parents watch this, so that's why you tell about a little
I'm not
iffy about
iffy.
certain. So you're good discussing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Do you have another question? There's actually something I want to talk about.
Actually, I'm out of questions.
Okay. Speaking of parents, my mom asked me, Maloba, the last time I saw her, why isn't our plant growing? This one. Yeah. It's been this height since we started Doek and Tie, right? So I got advice from my mom about this plant. And we should take it outside, plant it, and then when it has babies, better thing the babies in there, and then they will grow. That's what my mom said. She even went to an extent of giving me like extra plants that look exactly like this. We planted them outside, but to actually help me plant them outside. Okay. And then the dogs ate them up. So when I'm still undecided if we should take this one outside as well because the dogs are gonna chew it, or we should just leave it here and see what happens. What do you think we should do with the Doek and Tie tree? The tribe tree. This is
The totem.
This is the totem. This is the tribe tree. So it needs to grow, you know. What do we do with the plant?
I honestly don't know. Hi kids, we'll figure it out.
Okay. Any more questions?
That was the question.
Yeah, that was the question. I just remembered when you talked.
Asked me if I had any more questions.
When you were talking about parents.
I don't have any more questions, but I don't have any more questions that I wrote down because I tend to overthink.
You and I are both overthinkers, but
So-
you are more of an overthinker than I am, right?
So I think another important aspect to ask someone who you're going to a relationship with is their take on religious matters.
Yes. Yeah.
Because what if you are a very religious individual who wants to go to church Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and you meet me who goes to church once in a blue moon.
Me, the vibe is around the because anyway, I don't know.
Anywho, listen.
Opposites attract, right?
So it happens. It happens where you can fall for someone. It happens where you can like a girl and you find out what she's a devout, religious human being who goes to either church, either wherever, and very devoted. So I think it's important because before we're in a relationship, we don't really account to each other for
it's all fun and games, right?
We don't really account to each other for time. Where were you? What were you doing? You spend too much time over there.
At church,
But then once we get into a relationship and then you start complaining, what I spend too much time at church. So it's important that I lay down the foundation and I say,
off the bat.
It's a game. Nah, hella Friday. Don't even try to call me.
Starts on Wednesday.
You'll reach.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
You'll reach me on Monday.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Keep busy. I have church. I have practice. I have choir practice. After choir practice, I'm an usher. I have certain obligations that I need to take care of. So I think it's important right off the bat.
Also, if we then go on and become partners, you as a person, you expect your partner to be supportive. Supportive now means you come with me to church, right?
Yes.
Now, if you're a person who doesn't vibe with church like that, it's going to be a problem. If I expect you, okay, at least make it to Friday fun day, and Saturday we go clean the church, and then Sunday we're at church, or if your church is on Saturday, right? Yeah, so it becomes a little foreign to that other person. So that's a good question to ask. But babe, with all these questions being asked, how truthful do you think people are? When you're trying to get into a relationship, a lot of us, Romera the representative, we tend to overextend ourselves. We lie a bit, we polish ourselves up, we wear our best clothes, we smile.
You go to church despite the fact that it's the first time that
you bath a little more, when you're trying to convince somebody to be with you. So how's that gonna work out? Like, if you ask me these questions, I get an interview, like we said, you are sitting down there, you're interviewing me, and then I lie, right? How's that gonna work out? I don't think it's an interview, actually, by the way. Though, okay, these are just questions that might lead your conversation, but I think this you can actually find out over a long period of time, maybe you're dating, right? Getting to know someone. But the point that I wanted to bring home, if you learn these things, you're gonna get caught out very easily, right? Because you might say, oh yeah, I like going to church, and then you now have to go to church, and then it becomes a problem, right?
Yeah, so I think you will be caught out, but let us be as truthful as we can be. Let us be honest with people with whom we want to enter into relationships with, so that there's full disclosure, so that let me say, maybe I don't want to have kids, right? And then I don't tell you that, we never have such a conversation. And then I end up falling very deeply and madly in love with you. And then I'm just like, yes, let's have kids. And then in like that, I'm a brand new human being, and then it's gonna hurt. And then it's gonna hurt me when we have to part ways, because we find that there was something we are both unwilling to compromise on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. relationships, man. I won't lie. I don't miss like dating and stuff. That's a lot, guys. If you're going through it, please be strong. I'm just glad I'm over here. Different kind of problems here and challenges, but you miss like going through like dating and getting to know someone. And
I've never really dated you, so
okay,
who knows?
that's fair. We'll cut that out. Thank you so much for watching episode 15, and we're excited to be finally hitting the 6-0 next week Sunday. Stay safe, and remember, it's Doek and Ty on Facebook. Do like Doek and Ty on YouTube. Do follow and subscribe, and Doek and Ty as well on Instagram. Anything else to say, babe?
Nothing else to say.
It's just cold. Stay safe. Drink your
Drink your vitamin C. Drink your lemon tea.
Yes. That's it. And pray that our tree grows. We need the tree to grow. And if you have any tricks of how to make this tree grow and be strong, please let us know in the comment section. Doek and Ty. Yes.
They say good things come to those who